Tyron Woodley's approach to promoting his fight with Jake Paul has been very intriguing to me. It seems as if he feels that he has to validate himself to all the interviewers, spectators, and Jake Paul himself. Is it him being labeled as washed and old? Is it a constant reminder that he has lost 4 of his last fights? We talked about this more in depth in another video, but I want to talk more specifically about a situation that hasn't really been talked about. Jake Paul's double or nothing offer being turned down by Tyron Woodley. Before we go any further, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. If you want more, let us know down in the comments below. I want to bring something to your attention. So in the first press conference, or whatever that circus was between Tyron Woodley and Jake Paul, they were facing each other, right? There was Dave Portnoy, that I don't even know where he's from. I forget. He's supposedly really rich and he likes pizza, I guess. But anyways, so they were staring off at each other. And Jake Paul goes, and out of nowhere, I think Tyron might have triggered him to say this, but Jake Paul gives him an offer. He says, listen, if you win, I'll double your purse. If you lose, you donate your entire purse to a charity of his choice. Now, this might sound familiar. This was the same offer that Jake offered to Ben Askren. And Ben Askren, just like Tyron Woodley, declined the offer. Now, as a person who believes Tyron Woodley's going to win, he's going to win via KO. We have another video on our channel that goes over why I think he wins. And it's not just because, oh, he's an MMA fighter, he has this experience. It goes more in depth than that. It goes over how Jake Paul has some holes in his game, lack of experience that I think Tyron Woodley's going to go and take advantage of. Now, there's much more. Go watch that video. It's a bit long, but it's worth it. It's worth it. If you're on the fence and you're not sure, like, okay, what's gonna happen? I feel maybe my perspective will help you gauge whether or not maybe Jake wins or Tyron wins. But regardless, there was an offer, right? So the offer was double or nothing. This is kind of a common theme that I've been seeing now with Tyron Woodley in this build-up. He's out there and he constantly feels like he has to validate himself. He has to validate himself to all these people who are not from the MMA world. These people are from the media world. These people are from the boxing world. These people are from the YouTube world. None of them really understand who Tyron Woodley actually is. They might have seen a couple highlights here and there of him knocking out the guy, but do they actually know what Tyron Woodley is able to do? I don't think so. And that might actually be getting into Tyron's head. There's some people that are saying that, oh, Tyron's not taking Jake seriously. Jake is going to go in there and he's going to surprise Tyron Woodley. I don't know about that. But one thing I do know is Tyron Woodley is actually getting affected by this. And there's a lot of interviews that's going on. And I would like to see an interviewer actually talk about this. Be like, hey, Tyron, what happened? Like, I get that you're making a safe decision, right? Like, a guy's offering you double or nothing, but at the same time, like, you're Tyron Woodley. Just take the offer. You don't need the money. Like, you've got enough money. Now, I don't want to check other men's wallets and stuff like that, but I feel like this is a trend, and we'll start to see this more and more as the fight comes closer. These small little things that everybody around Tyron Woodley on the opposite side is testing him. They're seeing how does this guy feel? What does he think? What is his mentality? And for a world champion to decline that offer, I think that's a little bit of a win in Jake Paul's camp. He did that against Ben Askren to gauge where does Ben Askren think he is. If Tyron Woodley was as confident as I am in Tyron Woodley, right there, right away, I would have answered right away, say, yeah, double or nothing, done. This money that he's earning is probably the most that he has ever made in one single fight. But at the same time, like, Tyron Woodley, there's so many other things that are going to happen after this fight. Like, you're probably going to go on, you're going to win this fight. There's more sponsorships. There's boxing, other promotions. Maybe you can go and pick on somebody else for a big payday. but at the same time, you have to be very, very careful what you're doing. Tyron Woodley is sometimes maybe he's being a little too honest with people that are asking him questions. But at the same time, he's giving Jake Paul confidence. He's giving him confidence to be like, you know what? This guy doesn't even believe in himself. He doesn't believe in himself to the point where he's able to bet double or nothing. So why should I be scared? And these little tiny small wins here and there, they add up. And I feel like Jake Paul is constantly doing these micro tests to help his own mentality, but also to test and to hurt the other person's. Now, I don't think Tyron Woodley is going to let all this stuff affect him to the point where he loses a fight. There's just so many holes in Jake Paul's game that Tyron Woodley is going to overcome. I get that boxing is completely different than MMA and stuff like that, but it's still a fight. It's literally still the fight. And you're telling me a guy that has all these years of experience is going to lose to a guy that's been boxing for 4 years because, he practiced the fundamentals a lot more. Well, not really. Like, he doesn't have all the fundamentals that you think he has. He barely puts on combinations. He uses the same ones over and over again. He has a low left hand, right? Like, I'm not trying to play down Jake Paul and what he's done. I'm just saying that for all this talk about him being fundamentally sound, all that kind of stuff, he's still very new, and rightfully so. Like, you can't expect a guy to 4 years, even if he does 2-a-days, you can't expect him to go in there and do what these world-class guys do that have been training for their entire life. And I think that's what's going to happen during this fight. I think we're going to come back and we're going to be like, okay, you know what, we went a little bit too far with this. Let him take a step back. Let him, if he wants to actually be a boxer for the rest of his career, or his athletic career, let him go and do that. But trajectory needs to go like this, not like this. And then right, like let him develop. And we'll come back to this video. I feel like I'm not going to be wrong, but hey, you never know.